Good evening, good evening, good evening, and how are we all doing today? Can you hear me okay? Is my audio on? Yep, I think that's doing. How are we all doing today? Righty toities. Today I just thought I'd do a little bit of a chat and a conversation. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to catch my breath a minute. Just give me a sec. Good evening, Andy. Good evening, Lizzie. Nice to see you. Nice to see you both. Oh, give me a second. Just going to catch my breath. Whew. I have got my drink somewhere. There we go. Tonight, I basically thought we would just experiment and have a try. I was looking at Top Trumps quizzes this evening. How are we all doing today? Lizzie, how are you doing? Good evening, Andy, and how are you doing too? I thought we could have a look at these Top Trump quizzes. Can we learn anything? What are they a good starting point? Let's have a look and discuss. I've got a few because I've collected them over the years. This one's from the Wildwood Trust. This one's from Kent. I do believe they have another Wildwood Trust in Cornwall, that kind of way. How's life treating me? Not too bad, not too bad. Bit flummoxed, but I'm all right. Not too bad. So then you got this one from the Wildwood Trust. So they basically show. We'll have a look at them in a minute, and they basically show what animals they have in the Wildwood Trust themselves. Naturally Curious UK. Good evening. How are you doing? I've been to the one in Kent quite a number of times. It's somewhere I do tend to go. Probably I used to go about 3 times a year, sometimes 4, depending if we could squeeze it in. Then there's the Woodland Animals by the RSPB, and we'll have a look at these later. There's British Birds, and we'll see exactly what can we learn from these things. Is it a good starting point? Are they worth the 3 or 4 quids? Because some of them can be quite expensive, and I think I bought these when they were on special offer. I think I bought a few of them were about $2.99, and 1 or 2 were about $3.99. But I wouldn't have paid any more than that. You're doing all right. Just rammed to the grills with DIY. Oh no, not DIY. Not another job to do. Oh, it's just DIY is never ending, is it? And then we have Awesome Animals. How much is that different to all the others? You see, that's 3 animal ones there. Are they any good? Are they much different? We'll do our best to have a look. These ones I've covered before, apart from these 2, and I'll do them at another time. I like the quiz cards ones. So yeah, they're my favourite. Good evening, good evening. So if we have a look at the birds ones, it's got a little card at the back that tells you all about the RSPB. Here we go, get that in focus. So it tells you all about what the RSPB does in a little bit of a nutshell, kind of spiel kind of thing. And then we have the cards themselves. That's not a card, that's a how to play. We don't want that one. There is some good focus on that webcam, Andy. I should hope so. So all the cards have a puffin on the front, as we see, and on the back This one's a woodpecker. On the back, we have a greater spotted woodpecker. And you got a little bit of information there, wingspan 36. I'm assuming that's like, I've done a little bit of research on this, that's like inches or something. UK population, that's 140,000. So yeah, maximum number of eggs per nest is 6. And then in the bottom, you've got a little top trumps foil. Good evening, Action Popcast. How are you doing? They got a little top trumps foil. Let's get that. And it tells you a little bit, just a little bit, to get you started on figuring out all about the great spotted woodpecker in this case. And there's quite a few in the pack. I think there's 52 I counted per pack. That's not... Get them in my garden. You get them in your gardens. Great spotted woodpeckers, that is, not the puffins. If we had puffins in our garden, you'd never get me out my garden at all. I'd be like, it's one bird I've always wanted to see is a puffin. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but you know, never say never. And there are 52 cards in there. We've got robins, we've got house sparrows, we've got blue tits, all with a little bit of information. Can it focus? About the bird, and then you've got little bits of spiel at the bottom, and you got all them kind of birds of the UK. So whether they are UK resident or they're UK some of the time, because some go off on their holidays, don't they? Words. So yes, I quite like these. They're quite interesting. This one says the great spotted woodpecker is the one you're most likely to see in your garden, which I would dispute because not everybody's that lucky to have a great spotted woodpecker in the gardens. I mean, yeah, some areas do, but I don't live in that kind of area. In the woods in spring, you might hear it drumming its beak very fast on trees to attract a female and to tell other males that this is their area. So as a little bit of a starting point, you go, oh, that's quite interesting. And then you might want to go and research more in depth about the bird, whether it's the greater spotted woodpecker or the tawny owl or whichever. There's gannets there as well. So overall, I find these are quite interesting, although they have changed the packaging. That's the word I want, because this is the newer typeface, I think. So if you prefer that one over the original, let me get the original. In fact, this might be the newer one. Let me have a look. Yeah, this is the original. So it's got a little card telling you a little bit about the RSPB, and then it's got the same birds on these cards with the same spiel, but the typeface is different. So this is the old one, this is the newer one. So depends on your preference which one you prefer and which one you would get. Personally, I like this one. This has been a best year for greater spotted woodpeckers. They've been very few and far between during our 20 plus years there. Oh, okay. Yeah. I have only ever seen great spotted woodpeckers out, not near me. Sort of, I saw some at Bowdiam Castle and grounds, so out there, and I saw some down south in sort of Kent kind of way. So I've never actually seen them up in the Midlands. I know you do get them, but not where I can get to. So, you know, I'm kind of stuck in the middle of nowhere, really. Right, now I'm confused. Hold on. That's the new ones. That can go in that one. I confused myself by not getting that other pack out. I just wanted to show you that if you found that they got two sets, they both got the same information on them, only one has got a newer typeface. They've changed the font and all the little bits of how it looks. Most of the pictures in this one and this other one are the same. There's about a handful in the newer pack where the picture is just kind of mirrored, so it's flipped round. Because I checked to see what the difference was, because I was daft enough to buy two of them, because I thought, well, what's the difference between this one and this one? Because they're very, very different packaging. And I wanted to see whether there was any difference to the contents, and the contents is no different, really. They're the same pictures, and it's the same blurb on each card. So, yeah. If you saw one, you only need one pack. You don't need two like I've got. Where did you buy those from? Where did I buy these from? I bought these and these from the RSPB Dungeness shop that is annoyingly shutting in the new year. I'm just going to put these over here so I don't get swamped. I bought these, obviously, or not so obviously, from Wildwood, Kent. I know Wildwood Trust has Wildwood in, is it Devon or Cornwall, one of the two? But I had mine from Kent because I thought, oh, that'll be quite interesting. And what it shows in this one is the animals, most of the animals that they've got in their, let's call it the zoo for the want of a better word. So you've got your Top Trumps quiz. No, not Top Trumps quiz. Top Trumps first card. So that's the mission statement for the Wildwood and the vision. So it gives you a little bit of information about Wildwood and what they do and what they like to try and achieve. I'm guessing you are somewhere in the West Midlands. I grew up a few miles away from Bowdiam Castle. I spend a lot of time near Bowdiam, or I used to. In the last 14 years, I used to go to Bowdiam Castle at least sort of 3 holidays a year. And we'd spend quite a lot of time there because it was just nice to relax. I am in the West Midlands. I'm Black Country born and bred, ever so sorry. In fact, yeah, I am sorry. So if you don't like my accent, I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, the Kent location for Wildwood is near Herne Bay. I just call it Kent because it's, to me, it's just Kent. So yes, it's up on the coast where it's near Canterbury. So on the coast ish. but it's kind of near Canterbury, that kind of area of Kent. And let's have a look. What side are they on? All the Wildwood cards. It was my accent that gives it away. Yeah, my accent. There's no hiding my accent. I mean, it's not as bad as it was 20 years ago, but you know, I know a lot of people with a lot more deeper accents from the Black Country than me. So yeah, if you want subtitles, I'm sorry you can't do it on live streams. Good evening, Wild Woodlands Southwest. Good evening. Haven't seen you for absolutely ages. How have you been? I'm sorry if I miss any comments. I am trying to keep up with the chat. These cards from Wildwood, they all have a bear on the front because everybody likes the bears. And on the back, you've got little water vole there. Let's have it. And so you've got a cuteness is 2. So this one is more like a game. So you've got your ratings for your top trumps, however you play that, I don't know. And so then you can, it does look more like the top trumps game, whereas at least with the bird ones, it gave you the facts in where the cuteness and the mischief and the speedies, it gave you proper facts, whereas this one seems more like the game would be. And then you've got fun facts down the side, and then a little fact file about the water voles underneath, just to get you started, and it might pique your interest, sort of thing, you know. Next one we've got is an otter. So you've got otters there as well. Good, thank you. Nice to see you. Keep up with the lot. Well, I'm trying. I like the bears too. I always want to gravitate toward the bears when I go to Wildwood because I just got this affinity with bears. I love them to bits. So yeah, I like to go and spend time with the bears. But then a lot of people do. But sometimes I kind of just take my chair and just sit and watch and just be. You know, everything else is nice. I like all the other things, but like I'm there for the bears. And then sometimes if I've got the energy, I can go and have a walk around to other animals as well. And sometimes I come back to the bears. If the bears aren't out or they're not, or there's too many people, I just go, okay, well, we'll go back after lunch. You know, because when we go there, we tend to spend the day. So we'll have a bit of lunch, look at other animals, such as, let's have a look, otters. Otters are more cute than that. Come on. Focus. Otters are definitely more cute than that. Come on. Really? 90? Mischief, I would have said about 95, really. I mean, otters are quite the mischief bears, aren't they? Yes, bears are amazing creatures. They're absolutely phenomenal. I'd never seen a bear. Well, I'd seen a polar bear. When was it? In about 1988. I was about 10 or 11, 10, not even that, I don't think. Or certainly single digits. And I saw him at the zoo, as you do. And I have this recollection of seeing a polar bear at the zoo. And it was the only bear I'd ever seen until I went to Wildwood. My first time I went to Wildwood was, I think it was 2012. 2012 was my first jaunt to Wildwood. And I've been there at least twice a year ever since, apart from COVID. These are nice cards, and they are like kind of substantial enough. And I've actually found out that all these cards are actually recyclable, and they're also made from recycled materials. So that's a start. So if you've got somebody, or you play with them so much that they absolutely wear out, you could chuck them in the recycle bin, sort of thing. What else we got in there? Oh, that's the common dormouse, but everybody keeps calling it the hazel dormouse. Look at that bundle of cuteness. It's commonly known, it's actually called the common dormouse, but because it's called the common dormouse, a lot of people assume that they're common, and they're not. They're very, very rare. And so you have to you have to have a license to be able to handle common dormouse. I'm never going to call them a hazel dormouse. That's just me. If you got a problem, I can't help you with that. But I like these. I like the fact that there's a bear on the front. I like the pictures on the back. And then you've got a little bit of spiel about the animal on the bottom of the card, and a little fun fact file. So these, to me, are more like the game than these are. These have got like proper facts on them, and the little bits down here seem to be more fact related, whereas this is just a rating so you can play the game. So for me, these are nice if you want to just play the game, or you want to just a little bit of spiel off the bottom of the card, just to learn a little bit of something, and then you can go and do some research from there. It's a reasonable starting point. And when I bought these cards, I think I bought Awesome Animals from there as well. Yeah, Awesome Animals. And because I bought two, I got a free Wildwood Top Trumps card for my deck. I think that's how I remember it. Yes, it is interesting that they're not really common, but everybody, their name is Common Dormouse, whereas and a lot of people have started calling them the Hazel Dormouse because they assume that that's where they spend a lot of their time, near hazel, when they don't really. It's not, I mean, they do, but it's not only where they're found in the hazel kind of like places where hazel are. It's not only those sort of places that you can find this animal. So I'm always going to call it the common dormouse because that's what I learned that it was called. And in the last sort of 4 or 5 years, more and more people have started calling them hazel dormouse. Whereas for me, when I was learning 15 years ago, it was common dormouse. So it's now interchangeably common dormouse or hazel dormouse, interchangeably. But don't be surprised if I roll my eyes when somebody calls it a hazel dormouse, because that's just how I roll. Have I ever seen a common dormouse? Not in the wild. I've seen the actually, no, that's a fib. I did a dormouse learning about Dormouse Day at Wildwood. Not sponsored, not affiliated, but and I did see dormice right up close. I didn't handle them because I'm not allowed to. I don't have a license. but the handler that was there let us have a really close up look at this dormouse. Yes, very curious. We really know a lot less about nature than we claim to. Absolutely. For example, how birds navigate when migrating. We have ideas, yeah, but really don't understand the mechanism as to how, because it's just so mind blowing. You know, I like nature and I like learning about nature because there's always something new to learn. You can never know it all. And I love that, the fact that you can never know everything about wildlife. I just love the fact that there's always something to learn, and that enthuses me every day. But there you go. Right, let's put these over here. We did that one. Just so I don't get confused. Yes, there is so much to learn about nature, and I like the fact that you're always learning, and sometimes you think you know the thing, and then nature says, you think you know that, do you? And then it throws you this massive curveball. You know, I mean, I watch nature at my feeders, and when I'm at my mates, I'll go and sit in the garden, and I'm observing nature all the time. And by observing, you learn, because you go, oh, I wonder what they did there and what that's all about. And then I'll go, let's go do some research. And I go, maybe it was this, maybe they were doing that. You know, and that's how I've learned a lot, because I'm curious and I have this thirst for knowledge. Because I'm curious, I want to learn. So, and when I learn a thing, I want to share it, regardless of who already knows it. I'm going to go, I know this thing, I want to share it. You're going to have to scoot. Dinner beckons. Keep up the good work. Cheers, dude. Nice to see you, Naturally Curious UK. Nice to see you. Have a good evening. Thanks for dropping by. Right, next we've got RSPB Top Trumps Woodland Animals. And there is a very, very cute red squirrel on the front with the RSPB logo in and all of that sort of thing. I bought all of these last year, and I've been intending to try and come here and talk about it, and I couldn't figure out how. So we're doing a live stream. That's what we do. And on the back of this one, it gives you a little bit more spiel about the RSPB, and there's their website on the bottom, that sort of thing. And then on the front, you've got, that's a nuthatch. That's not going to focus, is it? There we go. So you've got a nuthatch there. Then you've got length, lifespan, rarity, mischief. So it says length in centimetres is 14. The lifespan is roughly 2 years, so give or take an ounce. The rarity is 36, so that's a top trumps score. And the mischief is 37. So this one is a little bit of a mix of information and top trumps playing sort of thing. And then you've got the little file at the bottom with a little bit of information about the nuthatch. I like these ones. I like the green. I think the green's not for everybody, but I like the green. I think it's vivid. It's vivid and it's nice. There's a hawfinch. There's the length in centimetres and the lifespan. So that's 5 years. Wow. Okay. There you go. Action Popcast says, I love top trumps. My boys would love this wildlife. He loves wildlife. He would like these. Well, yeah, absolutely. These are really, really good. I like these. I like, I like the fact that they're just quick little information cards and they're a good place to start, because I've found over the years some books, not including textbooks, because textbooks are like heavy going, but some books can be a little bit alienating and they assume you know something already, whereas sometimes you want a little bit information before that. You have the nuthatch on your wood and it's definitely a mischievous feisty bird. Very beautiful. Yes, I've seen a nuthatch a couple of times, Wildwoods, southwest. Oh, excuse me, Wild Woodlands southwest. I've seen a couple of nuthatches in my time, um, over the last sort of 15 years. I've seen probably 4, but that's because I don't go out too often to places that I would find a nuthatch. I've probably seen them a lot more than that. It's just off the top of my head, certain memories I go, yeah, there's only 4 memories there. Your wife is a proper bird watcher. Her and her dad know so much about birds. Yeah, I mean, sometimes a lot of people do bird watching because it's accessible, and that's fine, because I do a lot of bird watching here because it's accessible to me. It's not that I'm really big on birds. I'm really big on wildlife as a whole. But for me, I've got birds on at my feeders at my windows, and that's what I've got most access to. But I always look out for the other things as well. Occasionally, I'll get a fox. Sometimes I'll see a squirrel go past, and I'll note them down. Because it's still a sighting. And sometimes I'll see various butterflies and moths, and you might see a bumblebee doing a whatever he does sort of thing. So yeah, I notice all those sort of things. I spend a lot of time sitting observing. It's kind of what you do when you enjoy something and you get pleasure from that sort of thing. You haven't seen a butterfly for years, Andy? I think you probably have. You just haven't noticed, maybe. I've seen lots of Some years it can be very light on the butterflies, but I think the last couple of years haven't been too bad. The only disappointing bird I've ever seen is the Roadrunner. The cartoons lied. They certainly did. They certainly did. That cartoon's got a lot to answer for. You've seen more bats than butterflies, Andy. Cool. That is still cool. That is still very cool. So in these packs, it's not. I don't think it's just birds. Let me have a look. Yeah, common lizard, honeybee, 7-spot ladybird, wood ant, stag beetle. I'd so love to see a stag beetle. Great crested newt, grass snake. So it's not just birds in this one, it's all manner of wonderful woodland type creatures that you would find skulking about the place. And I find these really, really nice again, because as that's the lesser spotted woodpecker, as to go with our greater spotted woodpecker we saw earlier. And it's got a little bit of spiel about the bird on the bottom of the card. So nice bit of spiel at the bottom. And I think if you found them on a sale price, they're worth it, because I know some of these packs can be like £6 or £7, and I'm like, that's quite pricey for what it is. I mean, there's 52 cards, and yeah, you can play a game, but for me, if I'm going to pay for something, I want a little bit more information than the tiny bit that they give. You have great crested newts in your pond. They are very protected. Absolutely, you have to have a license to handle those. You got to be so careful with lots of different kinds of wildlife. And great crested newt is one of those that is very, 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 very protected. As Wild Woodlands Southwest. If you're in Southwest, be great to have you a visit. I'd like to visit, absolutely. I'd like to do a bit more travelling. I'd like to. I'd certainly give you a visit. Not a problem. That would be very cool. So yes, overall, I think that these are worth the money as a little like stocking filler, or like like pocket money type things to spend your money on, or for us adults, because I'm an adult allegedly. I like these things. It's like it's just just a quick guide, just to jog your memory of a thing. You go, okay, what was it about let's say, great spotted woodpecker? I go, and then you read the little bit of spiel, but it might jog your memory of something else that was a bigger thing that you read, and then it kind of cascades from there. That's how my brain works, anyway. Action Podcast. You're in North Dorset. Very nice. Absolutely good to hear that you leave the newts alone. Yeah, observe, by all means observe, and watch them, and if you see them, but observing and touching are not the same thing, are they? So yeah, you can observe from a distance, sort of thing. Absolutely. It's about respect and honoring that wildlife has chosen your pond to call home. Ooh. So these have got all kinds of wildlife: bank voles, pine marten, purple emperor butterfly. I have never seen a purple emperor butterfly. Brown long-eared bat. And these are all in the Woodland Animals pack. If you've got a little nature nerd, I reckon they'd love them very much. This one's got gold on it. This one is awesome animals. Because, like, not all animals are awesome. Of course not. They are. All animals are awesome. I mean, I might not like certain animals to a lesser or certain degree, because spiders are my limit. So these ones have got an L on the front. And again, they come with a little foil. So these are very, very random animals. So we've got let's have a look. Hold on. These seem to be so this one's at Spitalfield Farm. So you've got a couple of those at Spitalfield Farm. And then this one's Find Me at Freightliners City Farm. I've never really had too much of a look at this one. So this pack seems to tell you the name of the animal, let's call it Gertrude, and then where you might find this animal at what? Scruffy the monkey. I mean, who calls a monkey Scruffy? And he can be found at the Jungle Zoo, wherever that is. And this one says, find me at Greenwich Peninsula Ecology Park, the Eve the Dragonfly. So these ones seem to be a bit more of a, let's call it an advertisement. So it's telling you where you might find certain animals at what kind of zoos. So meerkats can be found at Hobbledown Farm. Jerry the alpaca can be found at Vauxhall City Farm. So I think this one, for me, is not quite as good as the other packs, even though it says awesome animals. To me, it feels a bit more like an advertising pack of, look at these farms and wildlife places that you can go to and find this animal. So for me, I don't think these would stay in my set for very long. I must admit, I've never really had a look at a too much of an in-depth look at this one. I had a cursory glance, but it was a while ago. Oh, there we go. Cat the Bear, find me at Wildwood. So our Wildwood gets another mention. Hazel the Squirrel, Wildwood Escott. So it tells you what animals might be at certain zoos and things like that. And for me, that's not really what I want. It's far too much like a magazine advertising, you know, like you get advertisements in the back. So yeah, too much advertising on these days. It's so hard to avoid, and I try and avoid them sort of things. So for me, if anything, I would probably get rid of these out of my collection because they don't serve a purpose. They give you a little bit of a spiel about the animal, but for me, there's too much advertising. Too much advertising. Don't like it. Oh dear. Advertising is everywhere nowadays. Does anybody have any questions? I must just take a minute. I have a question. What am I drinking? Andy, it's just water. Honestly, I was trying to think, what can I have? Because I just thought, well, everything else will just repeat on me, so I'm not going to bother. I'll just have water. Put it in my mug with birds. I bought that from Dungeness, RSPB Dungeness shop. I think it was the summer. This one's the new one. I have a question for you, Andy. What are you drinking? Beer, or is it going to be Coke? You got nothing? Oh no. Oh dear, that's not good. That's not good at all. Cup of tea for the football sounds like a plan. So I've just gone through those. I was going to get through a couple more, but I don't think I've got the energy. So I'll save that for the new year. That'll be these two. I was going to get through them, but is that a real wall behind me or is it a green screen? It's not a green screen. It's not a real wall either. It's yeah, it just gives me a bit of privacy, really. I like it. I like the fact that for me it looks like I'm in my shed. That's the floor I'm laying down. Yeah, laying down. Hi. Sometimes I need to lie down. So yes, it's just a photography screen. It's a photography screen. And I bought it specifically because I thought it makes me look like I'm sitting in a shed. So I'm in my den. Keep the mystery, absolutely. Right. Well, I think I've talked and talked and talked too much tonight. Does anybody have any questions before I leave you to your evenings? I hope that you have a very good Christmas, however you celebrate or not. I think I've earned a cup of tea. Yeah, I think I'm going to have a cup of tea in a bit. Thank you, Wild Woodlands Southwest. I'm trying just to get my confidence up and running. That's all. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Andy, and thank you everybody who has been here and spent a bit of time and listened to me rabbiting on. And I will see you in the new year. If I don't get anything up on the channel, it'll be the new year now. And I hope you all have a very, very nice Christmas, however you celebrate. And I will catch you all very, very soon. Thank you ever so much for all your time. And thanks for putting up with me and having a chat and asking all your questions. Much appreciated. Bye. Bye.